Hi, and welcome back to Positive Relationships. My name is Irene Atia, and I'm a Christian counsellor. In this group of episodes, we're talking about attachment. We've spoken about what attachment is in terms of it being the bonds that we form with our primary caregiver or our parent in our early childhood, and how that translates into adulthood. We've spoken about secure attachment as being the healthiest form of attachment or the healthiest style of attachment. And we've also spoken about the fact that attachment styles typically come out after marriage or when a relationship is actually in distress. Most of the time, if not all couples, enter into relationships from a secure place where things are rosy and everything is great, and attachment styles don't necessarily emerge at those times where everything seems secure and safe and happy. It's actually at times of distress that our attachment style starts to emerge, and we start to go back to how we were treated as children subconsciously and act out in those ways as adults. Today we're going to talk about the next attachment style, which is titled the ambivalent attachment. In ambivalent attachment styles, in that experiment I mentioned to you in our previous episode, where a baby is left in or a child is left in a room and their parent is asked to leave for a period of time and come back. In this situation, children who had ambivalent attachment, the baby was extremely upset when the parent left, or the child was extremely upset when the parent left, and couldn't trust their parent to come back. And oftentimes, on reflection, adults talk about not being able to trust their parent as being someone that they are safe and able to go back to in times of fear and danger. The child often became aggressive towards the parent when they returned. In this situation, parents of children who develop ambivalent attachments are often inconsistent or unpredictable. As adults, these children sometimes become nurturing and attuned to their own children, but at other times they can be intrusive or insensitive or even emotionally unavailable to their children. Ambivalent attachment style adults are often suspicious and untrusting of others, while at the same time clingy and desperate to their partners. And in relationships, ambivalence often represents itself as a self-critical, insecure person who is constantly doubting their sense of self-worth and their rightness in being in the relationship. They often seek approval and reassurance from others, and this never relieves their self-doubt. And regardless of how much their husband or their wife tells them that they're okay, as adults in adult relationships, part of them just cannot believe it and constantly struggles with the idea that they're just not good enough in this relationship or in any relationship. They have these deep-seated feelings that they are rejected, and that makes them worried and not trusting of others. And it also drives them to act very clingy and very dependent on their partners. Their lives are often not balanced, and their insecurities leave them turned against themselves and emotionally desperate in their relationships. They often assume the role of the pursuer in the relationship, constantly and trying to maintain the other person's attention and the other person's affection. They have difficulty being alone, and they always want to be around their partner. But they have generally positive views of others. They think that others have well intentions and others are positive, especially their parents, when they reflect back as adults on their childhood, but they don't see themselves in the same way. Their lack of self-worth leaves them constantly questioning people around them in terms of their value and their acceptance of them. They become rejection sensitive, and a lot of things that may pass as seemingly normal to other people, to them it feels like they're being rejected by their partner. So they're often resentful and angry when their partners don't provide them with the attention and the reassurance that they feel that they need. They often believe that unless they dramatically express their anxiety and their anger to get the attention of their partner, then it's not going to be noticed. Because as children, that would have been the way that they would have needed to get their parents' attention and get their parents to actually get them to respond to them in an emotional way. They also have a very critical inner voice about themselves and others, and that supports their beliefs. So of course they say to themselves things like, of course he doesn't like you. If he liked you, he wouldn't behave this way, and it is because you're not likable. Or they say to themselves, I'm so needy and dependent, and that's why he's not responding to me in that way. Or they say that I'm just not attractive enough, I'm just not good enough to be in this relationship. They constantly have negative inner self voices about themselves. But there is healing for people with this form of attachment style. Attachment can always be revised through new experiences, through being in a relationship with someone who has a secure attachment style, who is able to respond to them with reassurance and empathy and understanding. And through those new interactions with someone else, with a husband or a wife who has a secure attachment and can love them and see them beyond the pain that they're going through and their self-doubt. Even a person with an ambivalent attachment style can get the help that they need to go back or to relearn a new attachment style, and that being of a secure and healthy attachment where they feel confident and safe in the affection of others towards them and in their own sense of self-worth. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time on our next episode of Positive Relationships.